stuck in, like, peak hour traffic, just gridlocked, staring at taillights, and you suddenly feel it. The sheer overwhelming scale of it all. So many people packed into one place.
Hmm.
Or maybe you walk past a public trash can, overflowing onto the street, and you get that little thought flicker.
Right,
Where does all this stuff actually go?
right. That moment of realizing the magnitude.
Exactly. Well, today we're diving deep into something pretty monumental. It's the astonishing, often completely unseen effort it takes to keep a city of 1 million people, well, alive.
Yeah,
Think of it less like buildings and roads, and more like a living colossus. It's a concept so huge it's almost hard to grasp, but it's the daily reality for hundreds of cities worldwide.
it really is.
And right now, at this very moment, it's Saturday, July 19th, 2025. Cities everywhere are fighting this invisible, relentless battle just to keep things from falling apart.
What's truly remarkable here, I think, is how these intricate systems, often hidden from view, and the, tireless work of so many people manage to sustain these urban giants.
Absolutely.
So our mission for this deep dive is really to peel back those layers, explore the, frankly, shocking reality of this hidden machinery. We want to extract the most important nuggets of insight for you. We've looked at a mix of sources, research, critical reports, real-world examples, basically trying to understand what truly keeps these places from, well, grinding to a halt.
And when you really start thinking about it, a city isn't just concrete and glass, is it? It acts more like a complex superorganism.
That's a great way to put it.
You've got 1 million hearts sort of beating together, and its survival, it absolutely hinges on the seamless, completely uninterrupted delivery of the basics. Water, food, energy, and, crucially, dealing with all the waste.
Can't forget waste.
No way. These aren't just services. They're like the city's circulatory system, its digestive system. They cannot falter, not even for a short time. And the scale involved, it really gets interesting when you dig in.
It really does. Let's take water first. A city with 1 million people, it needs something like 30 to 50 million gallons every single day.
Right. Wow. 30 to 50 million.
Yeah, just for drinking, cooking, basic hygiene. And often that water has to travel hundreds of miles from rivers or, underground aquifers.
Right. Long distances.
But here's a critical vulnerability, something often overlooked. A 2024 report I saw from the American Waterworks Association found that 20% to 40%, that's huge.
20 to 40%.
Yeah, of that precious water literally leaks out through aging pipes and infrastructure before it even gets to anyone's home.
That's incredible.
Mm.
So much loss.
It is. And if we connect this back to that superorganism idea, these leaks are like a slow internal bleed. You don't see it, but it weakens the whole system, making supply this constant, massive challenge.
And it's not just water, is it? The city's metabolism, its energy, relies on this constant flow of food, thousands of tons, every day,
Daily.
delivered through what they call a just-in-time supply chain, which sounds efficient, less storage.
Right. Minimal buffer, though.
Exactly. Minimal buffer, which makes it incredibly vulnerable. We saw this, didn't we, during Hurricane Ian down in Florida back in 2022.
Oh, absolutely.
Disruptions like storms or even, say, a labor strike can just empty grocery store shelves in a matter of days. It's that fast.
Terrifyingly fast.
And then think about electricity, powering everything, hospitals, critical infrastructure right down to, your phone charger at home.
Can't live without it.
But the grids themselves, surprisingly fragile. The 2021 Texas freeze is such a stark example. One major failure just cascaded, didn't it?
It did. Millions without power. For days.
For days, in the freezing cold.
Yeah.
It just shows how one single point of failure can unravel so much so quickly.
And waste management presents an equally immense, though maybe less visible challenge. 1 million people generate something like 2,000 to 3,000 tons of trash daily.
2,000 to 3,000 tons every day. Just wow.
Yeah, so you absolutely need these incredibly sophisticated collection, sorting, disposal systems just to prevent major health crises, disease outbreaks, vermin, you name it.
So this raises an important question, doesn't it? How does this whole invisible machine, all these pikes, trucks, wires, the thousands of workers, how does it function as this, marvel of engineering? While at the same time, it's constantly walking this incredibly fine tightrope where just one single failure could disrupt everything.
That's the core of it, isn't it? It really makes you appreciate the constant, silent battle that's just happening beneath the surface every single day in any big city.
That continuous battle is definitely real. And this urban colossus, as we've been calling it, You can almost hear it groaning sometimes under the relentless pressure.
Yeah, you feel it.
And that pressure exposes some pretty significant cracks, cracks that threaten its stability. Let's talk transport for a second.
Okay.
Roads, often designed decades ago for way smaller populations now, they're just succumbing to perpetual gridlock. It feels like it anyway.
It certainly does.
There was a study, INRIX, the transport analytics people. In 2023, they found U.S. commuters lost, on average, 54 hours a year just sitting in traffic.
54 hours. That's more than a work week.
It is. And in cities like L.A. or Miami, peak congestion isn't just wasting time. It's actively, like, grinding down your mental well-being day after day.
Yeah, stress is real.
And public transit struggles to keep up, too. Look at New York's subway. It's over a century old. It's battling severe overcrowding, delays, and facing this estimated, like, $43 billion repair bill.
$43 billion. That's a staggering number.
It's like the arteries of this superorganism are just hardening,
Yeah.
slowing down its very pulse.
And building on those foundational system challenges, waste management is another critical area showing strain. What's fascinating here is the scale. A 2025 EPA report indicated that 40% of U.S. cities
40%.
are actually facing dwindling landfill space, running out of room.
So what happens then?
Well, when trash is mismanaged, it's not just ugly. It clogs drains, which can worsen flooding, and it can literally spark disease outbreaks. We
Wow.
saw that devastatingly during Delhi's monsoon crisis in 2024.
Right. The health impacts.
Exactly. It's like the city's immune system starting to fail. And then housing another major fracture point, the demand is just soaring, driving rents sky high.
Tell me about it.
Los Angeles' median rent, for instance, hit $2,500 in 2025. That pushes so many essential workers further out or into really precarious, substandard situations.
And that's just one city?
Globally, it's even bigger. UN Habitat estimates 1 billion people live in slums,
Yeah.
often lacking basic sanitation. It just massively exacerbates inequality.
Wow. 1 billion.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, these cracks, some visible like traffic, some less visible like aging pipes or landfill limits, they threaten not just convenience, but the actual soul of urban life. They're pushing cities toward a kind of breaking point, even right now, today, July 19th, 2025.
Okay, so given all those pressures, all those cracks,
Yeah.
is it fair to say cities are just perpetually on the brink? Or is there some kind of inherent resilience we're maybe overlooking?
That's a great question.
Because despite all these massive challenges, cities aren't just, collapsing wholesale. They endure. And a lot of that has to be down to human ingenuity, right? And
Yeah.
constant innovation.
Absolutely. People are problem solvers.
Yeah, people are actively finding solutions, often on a truly massive scale.
Mm-hmm.
So what does this all mean? It means action is happening. Look at Mumbai. Huge city, 22 million people.
Massive.
They launched a $1 billion drainage overhaul project in 2023, specifically to combat that devastating monsoon flooding. They're even restoring floodplains, trying to, coexist with the water better.
That's smart. Working with nature.
And then Shanghai, 30 million residents. They're tackling urban sprawl with this incredible public transit system that moves 10 million people
Right.
every single day.
10 million daily riders. It's hard to even picture.
It really is a testament to human will, isn't it, to figure this stuff out?
It absolutely is. And technology plays such a pivotal role in these solutions now. This raises an important question about implementation. But first, the tech itself. Singapore, for instance.
Always ahead of the curve, it seems.
Well, their AI-driven traffic systems, according to a 2024 Smart Cities report, actually reduced travel delays by 15%. That's significant.
15% makes a real difference in daily life.
Definitely. In Tokyo, they've used smart sensors in their water system and impressively cut water loss by 10%, tackling that leakage problem we talked about.
Okay, so tech is helping plug the leaks, literally.
Right. And another critical area now is how cities are implementing circular economy solutions, thinking beyond just use and dispose.
Making waste valuable somehow.
Exactly. Copenhagen is a fantastic example here. They have these waste-to-energy plants that actually transform trash directly into heating and power for the city.
Wow.
It dramatically reduces their reliance on landfills. So this isn't just about, managing problems anymore. It's about fundamentally reimagining how cities can function more sustainably.
That's where the urban planners, the engineers, they really become the architects of survival, don't they? Blending that kind of visionary thinking with the cutting-edge tech.
Oh.
You see it happening now. In 2025, Dubai is using solar-powered desalination plants to tackle extreme water scarcity. That's huge for arid regions.
Changer.
And Bogota, in Colombia, They've massively expanded their bike lanes, ciclorutas, which eases traffic and cuts emissions at the same time. Simple, but effective.
Multiple benefits.
These efforts really highlight this growing kind of global push to tame the urban chaos. But it's also clear, isn't it, that they require massive, sustained investment and just incredibly complex coordination between lots of different groups.
Oh, absolutely. The scale of investment needed is often the biggest hurdle. Political will, funding gaps. It's a complex interplay.
Right?
But we can't forget the human toll in all of this, that strain of urban life. It really does hit residents hardest.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. What does it actually feel like to live in a city that's constantly sort of on the edge?
Well, it's sobering when you look at the data. Think about that chronic traffic we discussed. A 2025 study in the Journal of Urban Health actually found a 20% increase in anxiety disorders among commuters.
20% increase just from the commute.
Just from enduring those relentless, soul-crushing delays.
Yeah.
Every single day. And overcrowded housing. That consistently breeds health risks. WHO data from 2024 showed Mumbai's slums, for example, had 30% higher tuberculosis rates than the city's average.
30% higher. That's stark.
It is! And remember the supply chain disruptions. What's fascinating, in a grim way, is how quickly that leads to actual food insecurity. Hurricane Sandy, back in 2012, it left 10% of New Yorkers hungry for about a week because deliveries couldn't get through.
Wow, 10% in New York.
And power outages, like those California ones in 2020 caused by wildfires.
Yeah.
They disrupted the lives of 2 million people. Cut off access to essential services, refrigeration, communication, right when they needed them most.
It really is this constant kind of background hum of vulnerability for so many people.
Exactly.
And it's so important to emphasize, too, that these challenges don't hit everyone equally, do they? They disproportionately affect the most vulnerable folks in our cities.
Absolutely. Low-income families, the elderly, marginalized communities.
Yeah.
They often bear the brunt.
So here in 2025, with rising living costs and the instability of these crucial systems, it really does push residents right to the edge, constantly testing their resilience. The daily grind of just navigating a strained city, it really underscores how fragile existence can be. Your survival, my survival, depends on systems that feel like they're just one disruption away from collapse.
It's a sobering thought.
Makes you think twice about your morning coffee, doesn't it? The invisible dance, just to make that happen.
It does. And looking ahead, cities really stand at this critical crossroads because relentless population growth and the intensifying impacts of climate change are just amplifying all these risks we've talked about.
Now the pressures are mounting.
The UN projects that 68%, more than 2/3 of the world's population, will live in urban areas by 2050. That's immense added pressure on systems already strained.
68%. Wow. Where do they all go?
And the climate threats are becoming much more immediate, much more real. Rising seas are an existential threat for coastal cities like Miami. Their 2025 flood defenses, costing $4 billion, they're still incomplete.
$4 billion and still not enough, maybe?
Maybe. And wildfires are encroaching right on the edges of cities like Denver. Those 2024 evacuations really highlighted how vulnerable even inland cities are.
Right at the urban fringe.
Then there's the infrastructure funding gap. A 2024 report from the American Society of Civil Engineers, ASCE, estimated the U.S. needs something like $2 trillion over 10 years just for basic repairs and upgrades.
$2 trillion.
But only about $1 trillion is actually proposed in current funding plans. That leaves these huge critical gaps in roads, power grids, water systems, you name it.
So this raises an important question then. How on earth can we bridge that massive gap? $1 trillion short.
That is the trillion-dollar question, isn't it?
It really is. And yet,
Uh-huh.
there's still immense hope when you look at some of the green solutions emerging. Amsterdam's aiming for carbon neutrality by 2025.
Ambitious goal.
Very. And they've already cut emissions by 40% just through things like extensive bike lanes and promoting solar grids. It shows it can be done. It serves as a powerful model.
It does. Leadership matters.
And Singapore's innovative vertical gardens or Seoul's burgeoning urban farms, they're actively tackling those critical food and space constraints right within the city limits.
Creative solutions.
These efforts show what's possible, right?
Yeah.
But as we wrap up our deep dive today, it feels like cities face this incredibly stark choice, especially now, July 19th, 2025. Either adapt through smart planning, massive investment, green tech, or risk actual collapse under the combined weight of neglect and relentless growth.
That sums it up well.
The future of these urban superorganisms, and really, by extension, our own future,
Yeah.
it truly hinges on whether we can actually re-engineer them for genuine resilience.
Yeah, so if we connect this to the bigger picture, summarizing the essence of this deep dive, a million-person city is, in many ways, it's humanity's triumph. It's this vibrant hub of economy, culture, hope.
Absolutely. So much energy.
But it's also a profoundly fragile ecosystem, constantly teetering on the edge. That daily battle we talked about, supplying water, managing waste, delivering power, it showcases incredible human ingenuity, yes. But it also starkly exposes just how vulnerable we are. So maybe a final thought for you listening. Next time you're in a city, try to look beyond the surface chaos. See if you can glimpse that miraculous, intricate dance of a million souls, all sustained by this relentless, largely invisible machine.
That's a powerful image.
The question remains, though, can we strengthen this machine enough to endure what's coming? Or will it eventually buckle under the sheer weight of its own ambition?
So what does this all mean for you listening right now?
Well, if you're as fascinated by deep dives like this as we are, exploring these complex systems, you know where to go for more incredible information. Make sure you visit Mind Expansion Daily. They've got more great content just like this. And while you're there, please do like and subscribe. It really helps us stay updated on all our deep dives.
Definitely helps. We've really tried today to distill the essence of these complex city systems, highlighting both, the triumphs and the vulnerabilities. But what stood out most to you?
Yeah, we'd love to know.
Or maybe you have a totally different perspective on how cities are managing these challenges, or maybe failing to manage them. We'd genuinely love for you to leave a comment and tell us, do you agree or disagree with our summary of this vital topic? Let's continue the conversation.